Hey everyone, welcome to another English grammar lesson. Today we're going to be continuing and finishing our study of quotation marks in dialogue. So 2 videos ago, we talked about how to write lines of dialogue with the speaker tag at the beginning of the sentence. And last video, we talked about how to write lines of dialogue with the speaker tag at the end. But what if the speaker tag is in the middle of a sentence? What if it actually splits the quotation? Well, let's take a look. So there are 2 situations in which you can have a speaker tag in the middle of some dialogue. The first situation is when that speaker tag comes in the middle of one single sentence, like this. When you get home, I said, can you call me? Now, we look at these sentences pretty much the same way we look at the other ones. The first thing we do is find the speaker tag. And by this point, most of you should probably be able to tell me that this speaker tag is I said. Then, as always, we need to read the rest of the sentence to see if it's something that makes sense to say out loud. So in this case, we actually have to read the stuff on both sides of the quotation marks. And when we do that, we get, when you get home, can you call me? Sounds fine to me. So what do? Well, we put our quotation marks in. But here's where it gets just a little bit tricky, because we actually have 2 parts of this sentence, the part before the speaker tag and the part after. And because of that, we actually need 2 separate sets of quotation marks, one around the first part and one around the second part. Okay, so now, what about the punctuation? Well, just like we had 2 sets of quotation marks, we're also going to need 2 sets of our other punctuation. And in this sentence, that's going to be 2 commas. One here and one here. So that's it. 2 sets of stuff, but pretty much the same, routine or whatever. The only other situation we could have is when the speaker tag splits 2 full sentences, like this. I need some help, she said. Can you come over? First step, as always, find that speaker tag. Should be, she said. Now, as usual, we've got to read the rest. But when we do, we find that we actually have 2 full sentences here. I need some help is a sentence, and can you come over is a separate sentence. So just like the last one, we're going to need 2 sets of quotation marks here. One set around the first part, and one set around the second part. Only this time, we're going to change the punctuation just a little. I need some help, she said, is the first sentence. So we'll put a comma here, and after the speaker tag, we'll put a period to show that the first sentence is now over. And then we'll actually capitalize the second sentence, because it's a new sentence, and then we're all set. So let's try a few. As soon as I can, he said, I will mow the lawn. Speaker tag is, he said. Now read the rest. Makes sense. And it is one sentence. So because of that, all we need are 2 commas. Next one. I like running, Jake said. I just don't do it very often. Speaker tag is, Jake said. Now, read the rest. I like running. I just don't do it very often. Yeah, that makes sense. But it's 2 sentences. So after we put our quotation marks in, we have to remember to put a period instead of a comma here to show that we're dealing with 2 full sentences. And just so you know, because I'm sure some of you are wondering, if the first sentence was a question or someone shouting or something, you would actually replace that first comma with a question mark or an exclamation point, like these. But you'd still have the period on the other side of the speaker tag. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Okay, last one. As soon as he said that, I started to puke. Find your speaker tag. He said. Now, read the rest. As soon as that I Not a sentence, right? So what does that mean? Well, it means no quotation marks. I know I've said this before like dozens of times, but do not forget to read the quote-unquote sentence before you put in quotation marks. Cool. Well, whether you came here for a refresher or are just now learning this stuff for the first time, I hope this video helped. Be sure to check out the free practice down in the description, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.